Welcome to BOJTV's Trending News for top stories in local, regional and international news, along with sports and local weather forecast. I'm Carla. Coming up in our local trending news, murders continue to climb. The government spending over $5 billion to improve conditions at some 186 police stations island-wide. Man charged for breaches of the Dangerous Drugs Act, and government moves to modernize Jamaica. Now the details. The island's murder toll has moved above the 800 mark as 11 of the 19 police divisions show increases over last year. Preliminary figures from the Jamaica Constabulary Force shows 816 murders between January 1 and August 10. This is 13 more, or just above 2%, above the corresponding period last year. The St. Andrews South Police Division, where a state of emergency is in place, has so far recorded 100 murders, to be the division with the most bloodletting so far this year. But there has been noticeable slowdown in the killings in the division, which had seen 93 murders up to June 29, and only 6 since the SOE was imposed on July 7. Clarendon, with 89 murders, comes second, followed by St. Catherine's South and St. James, which have both recorded 81 murders. The figures also show shootings up by 11%, with 800 reported since the start of the year, with the reported cases of rape down by 11%. The narcotics police have now charged a 48-year-old Fernando Roy, mechanic of a Kingston 7 address, under the Dangerous Drugs Act DDA. He has been charged with the offences of possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, trafficking in cocaine. It was reported that on August 8, 2019, about 2:25 p.m., members of the Narcotics Division were conducting an anti-narcotics operation in Premier Plaza along Constant Spring Road in Kingston when they intercepted a Mitsubishi Lancer motor car with the accused man aboard. A search of the vehicle was conducted when a knapsack bag was found with 4 rectangular parcels, each containing white substance resembling cocaine. The drugs in the motor car were seized and the accused taken into custody. He was interviewed in the presence of his attorney at law and subsequently charged. The drug was approximately 4 kilograms and has an estimated street value of US $120,000. He is scheduled to appear in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday, August 15. A team of police officers seized a firearm and 2 rounds of ammunition during an operation in Quarry Hill, Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Friday. Reports from the Spanish Town Police are that about 3:40 p.m., one Mach 11 submachine gun with a magazine containing 2.380 cartridges was found in bushes near a pig pen. No one was arrested in connection with the seizure. Investigations continue. The National Works Agency, NWA, is currently carrying out hot mix patching activities valued at some $19 million in sections of 13 corridors in St. Elizabeth. Some of the roadways receiving attention include from Pedro Cross to Lititz, Bellevue to St. Mary's, Black River to Luana, Mountainside to Malvern, Red Gate to Eldersley, Lilliput to Lookout, Lacovia to Mountainside, and the Santa Cruz Bypass. NWA said a total of 6,000 square meters of road surface will be repaired. The project began on August 5 and should be wrapped up by the end of August. Motorists are reminded to obey all posted warning and directional signs, as well as the instructions of flag persons during the period of works. The National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, has announced that the government of Jamaica is spending over $5 billion to improve conditions at some 200 police stations island-wide. The Security Minister, who was speaking at the official opening of the Shady Grove Police Station in Ludas Vale, St. Catherine, said the improvement work are to be done under the initiative called Rebuild, Overhaul and Construct. According to Mr. Chang, the aim of this project is to convert all police stations into modern, citizen-friendly workspace, providing officers with a comfortable environment conducive for work, while creating the ambiance for citizens to willingly and comfortably engage the police. He said the government is on target to impact 149 of the 186 police stations in operation by March 2020. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has asserted that the government has not given up on the National Identification System NIDS. The Prime Minister says the faster the Jamaican society embraces the imminent move to digital society, more advantages will be realized. The Prime Minister made the comments earlier last week during his keynote address at the launch of the Electronic Business Forum at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. The Prime Minister said that the innovation with the data now is how governments can use it to better serve their populations. One of the things that we want to do is to give every citizen an identity. It is not about stealing your identity or exposing your identity, but we need to know who you are. You need to be assured that when you present yourself, that you are known, you are acknowledged, and you get service, the Prime Minister stated. In that regard, Mr. Holness stated that the government continues to do the background work necessary to have NIDS work effectively. He noted that the government is putting in the infrastructure to facilitate a seamless exchange of information between government agencies. Those were your top stories making local trending news. Now join us for news from across the region as well as our international story, sports and local weather forecast. From across the region, Trinidad and Tobago's Education Minister Anthony Garcia says the Barbados-based Caribbean Examinations Council CXC will determine whether or not 4 students who were caught cheating during the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC math exams earlier this year will be disqualified for a period of 2 years from all exams. The students from the Tranquility Government Secondary School in Trinidad, who sat the exam in May, were caught cheating after a video was posted to social media showing them and other students using their cell phones to share an answer sheet. According to the Education Minister, the disqualified students were the ones that were easily identified in the video. It's reported that after they were caught cheating, the invigilators allowed the students to complete their exams, but warned that they would face severe consequences. The invigilators were later dismissed. Investigations carried out by both the Ministry of Education and CXC found that some students had refused to leave their cell phones with the school officials on the day of the exam. Both the Ministry of Education and CXC have strict policies prohibiting the use of electronic devices during exams. In international news, the FBI is investigating the apparent suicide in a New York prison of disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, the Justice Department said on Saturday. The department's Bureau of Prisons made the announcement as questions were raised as to how a high-profile inmate who had apparently attempted to kill himself last month could take his life in what is supposed to be a highly secure federal facility in downtown Manhattan. Epstein was charged with trafficking girls for sex. The Bureau said Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell in the Metropolitan Correctional Center from an apparent suicide. It said staff began life-saving measures and Epstein was eventually rushed to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. The FBI is investigating the incident, said the Bureau. Over in our sporting report, Coach Donovan Ducky has disproved claims in some sections of the media he could be fired as a man in charge of the national under-23 team, informing reporters instead that he had in fact resigned with immediate effect on August 8. In the resignation letter addressed to the Jamaica Football Federation General Secretary Dalton Wint, Ducky expressed gratitude that as the under-23 head coach, he had gained irreplaceable knowledge and experience and a wealth of international exposure. The manner of Jamaica's elimination from the 2020 Olympic Games at the earliest qualifying stage and their subsequent capitulation at the Pan American Games are believed to be the final straw. However, the coach kept details at a minimum in the letter, simply stating he felt it wise to move on. On your local weather forecast for this afternoon, insignificant feature, a weak high-pressure ridge across Jamaica. The weak high-pressure ridge is expected to weaken tomorrow as a tropical wave passes over the island. The forecast for tonight will see generally fair skies. Tomorrow morning, partly cloudy over eastern parishes, generally fair elsewhere. During tomorrow afternoon, partly cloudy and windy, with isolated showers over inland areas in St. James, Hanover and Westmoreland. Minimum temperature expected for Kingston as well as Montego Bay tonight is 27 and 26 degrees Celsius, respectively. That was BOJTV's trending news, your top local, regional and international stories, as well as sports report and weather forecast. Until next time, I'm Carla. Thanks for watching.
Audio Jungle.